Warm greetings to you all. In this video, we are going to have an outlook of learning management system as well as we will learn one of the tools of learning management system, Moodle. So what is that learning management system? Learning management system is a software application or web-based technology. It is mainly used to plan, implement and assess a specific learning process. Most of the well-reputed learning management systems are hosted in cloud, which means that data is stored on an external server and made available with an internet connection. Cloud computing is actually emerging as an inexpensive, quick, and efficient way of delivering training through learning management system. Typically, it provides an instructor with a way to create and deliver content, monitor student participation, and assess student performance. So, it may also provide students with the ability to use interactive features such as threaded discussions, video conferencing, and discussion forums. With a dedicated account, all learners will be able to download and exchange content using any of their electronic gadgets like mobile phones, tablets, computers, as well as laptops. This brings sources, materials, learners, and coaches all under the same roof, providing them a virtual learning environment so they can access all these sources regardless of their location and time. Now let's see some of the advantages of this learning management system. It reduces the dependency on trainer and classroom. It provides 24 into 7 access to training through laptops, smartphones, and tablets, which we have already discussed. And it offers secure logins and powerful user management. And most important thing is it reduces cost of training and it enables collaborative learning with the teacher, faculty members, as well as the students. It enables self-learning. We have seen in previous videos, I used to say self-learning demands self-discipline. So it depends on the individual learners. And this learning management system complements classroom training. These learning management systems are used all over higher education institutions in the world. And we need to know and understand its adoption and usage. So, I believe this adoption and this realization and this usage widely increased in this pandemic situation. On the one hand, we have different institutional cultures and characteristics. On the other hand, there are several distinct LMS tools, learning management tools available. In the past years, the proprietary platforms were the most used, but currently there is an increase of open source free platforms usage. The last decade witnessed a dramatic increase in technology incorporated into tertiary education to prepare students for the sophistication of the digital economy. Students are heavily immersed in Web 2.0 technologies, that is, blogs, Twitters, podcasts, wikis, social network sites, virtual 3D worlds, video sharing, photo sharing, etc. The internet is playing an increasingly important role in the learning as well as teaching environment. In this changing scenario, it is imperative for the stakeholders in higher education to take a relook at its next generation infrastructure and technology. So, it enables to meet and address social, economic, and business opportunities. Fine. Navigating education requires an understanding of the current state and the future direction of the ICT in teaching and learning. So learning management system is changing the way students are getting educated nowadays. These LMSs, learning management systems, are at the forefront of online technologies, making a serious impression on patterns of learning and teaching in higher education. Now we are going to see about Moodle. So Moodle is an acronym for Modular Object-Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. It was designated as an LMS to support and promote users interested in developing constructivist student-centered learning environments. It is actually developed by Martin Dominguez, a computer scientist. After many prototypes were discarded, Martin released Moodle version 1.0 on August 20, 2002. Now in this 2020, we are using the Moodle version 3.8. It is based on the constructivist pedagogy. As an LMS, learning management system, Moodle has three main functions: an authoring tool, an administrative tool, and there is a means of communication too. An LMS like Moodle provides collaborative tools like email, chat, discussion forums, virtual classrooms, and reflective journaling features that assist students as they construct knowledge. The main aim is to create learning environments centered on students as learners and to offer new learning opportunities all at one place. Moodle included features that not only improved pedagogical quality but also scored high with regards to modular design, interface, and authentication issues. So now let's see how to create a Moodle site and how we can create some courses in Moodle site under some categories, as well as we will also learn how to enroll students into our course. Now let's learn how to create a Moodle site. Just enter moodlecloud.com in the address bar. Then as we are being the new user here, we have to sign up. Click sign up. Here we can see the packages of Moodle. The first one will give us a free trial which we can use only for 45 days. Then we are having some other options like starter and Moodle for school. This is meant for our institution. So now we are going to, as well as we can see in this page, what are the features we can use for every account. Even in the free user for the 45 days, we can use up to 200 users and the file storage can be up to 400 MB. Then we cannot get these kind of features in this free trial. Now, I'm just going to get started with the free trial. Just give here, create a new account. Then this is the agreement page. Here we have to check all the check boxes given. This one is actually mandatory to get into this Moodle. This is their legal policy. Then we have to give our details. have to select our country here. And I'm just giving my number. Time zone is Kolkata. If you are searching for some other thing, it will not show any Indian. We can search Chennai, it is not that. Delhi, it's not that. So better we can go with this Kolkata. Then it will ask for our organization name. I'm just giving my institution name. Organization type, I have to say this one is university or college. Street address, city, and these are all actually not a mandatory, these are all optional, so I'm just skipping it. But I have to select my country. And your rule that we can do it later also. Then again there is a agreement, we have to check that box, then click next. It will ask us to enter site name as per our choice. So I have typed Ajanta Esaranam as my site name. So my site address will be like this, ajantaesaranam.moodlecloud.com. Fine with this. Then I have to select any of these countries. I'm simply selecting something. So it will ask the reason for us to what is our or why for what purpose we are going to use this Moodle Cloud. We have to describe it. I can say for using higher education. Then I'm clicking next. So the verification code has been sent to my number. And I'm giving my verification code and clicking next again. Then I have to select your password. I can select from the passwords which I am using already. Otherwise, I can give a new one. Then I'm clicking next. So we have successfully created our new Moodle site. So my site will be in the name of ajantaesaranam.moodlecloud.com. So after reading all these things, we have to click thanks, take me to my Moodle site now. So this is our Moodle site. It will have this message that my site will be expired on 25th August 2020. If your institution does not have Moodle site installed in their server, I can suggest you another thing which is similar to this Moodle, nomio.com. You can use this site. The only disadvantage in this site is it will have some advertisement. Other than that, we can use this site completely for free of cost. If we are intended, we can donate something to this Nomio. Fine. This introduction to Moodle is the available course. It has been provided by the Moodle server, Moodle Cloud itself. If you want to know more about Moodle, I can get into this and explore the course. But I just want to create a new course. Let's see. For that, we have to get into this site administration. So, before creating our course, it is mandatory for us to register our site. Here there is a tab named register your site. You just click here. It will take to your page. There we can give rename our Moodle site. We can give and here we can see this name. We can next in this registration page we can rename our site, actually not our address, just our site name. Just going to give pages. Then another option, site listing. We cannot do not list my site, only display my site name. Display my site name with the link. This is optional. We can choose any of this. I just want to go with this, display my site name with the link. Then description, these are optional. It is not mandatory to fill all these things, all this stuff. Just going through all these things. And finally, I have to agree to the privacy notice and the agreement of Moodle. Then here we have to, if you want to explore this more information, we can again, just by clicking on this, we can explore. So now we are using Moodle 3.8 version. These details we can, in that more information, we can see all about our site. So finally, we are giving register your site. So site registration is confirmed. We got the message. Yeah, just continue this. Update your site registration. Again, we have to agree with this. We can read this message also. Registration last updated 11 July 2020. Okay, actually I have already created a site using this email address. That's why I'm just getting all these things. So I'm just going to update registration. Button. We can go to this. For creating this course, we have to go get into this site administration. In the site administration, we can see a tab in the name courses. We have to get into this. If you want to explore all these tabs, we can explore it ourselves. But I'm just going to tell you how to create a course and how to add activity and resources and how to enroll students in our course. This is actually basic for every teacher. That is the thing which I'm going to tell you. I'm just getting to this courses. Here, the first courses tab, courses menu, we are having submenu, manage courses and categories. I'm just getting into this. So now we are going to see how to create category and how to create courses under the category. First we have to click this create new category tab. There is a parent category. We can see top category name. So how I'm going to devise this? I'm going to create 3 categories with the names BA English, first BA English, second BA English, and third BA English. And for each category, I am going to create 3 or 4 papers, 3 or 4 units or topics. So first category is first BA English. If you want to give any category ID number, I can give it here, but I'm not going to do that. And here we can describe, give a description for our category. For the description, you can expand this tab by just by clicking this down arrow. We are having this kind of formatting tools to format our description. In case, I can say, dear students, in this category, we are going to learn all our lecturing literature syllabus for our first and second semesters of this course. Best wishes. I just want to format this. So if I want to make it larger, I can do. The rest I can give heading medium. So we can see the changes. If I want to make it all bold, I'm just clicking Ctrl A and giving. This way, we can use all these formatting tools to format our text. If I want to include a picture, just by clicking Insert or Edit, I can do. If I have already something in my repository, that means something in this module course, I can get it from here. But at present, I do not have anything. So what I can do, just go to Google and get a welcome image. You can choose anything from this. It seems somewhat formal. So I'm just copying this image address and I'm pasting the image address here. Then I'm just clicking save image. I do not want to give any description for this image. So I'm just giving save image. So see here, we are getting the number. Yes, I can central it. I can give central alignment by using this. So along with our message, it will be displayed. The same way we can insert an audio or video file, and even we can record an audio here and record a video here. And if we want to manage some files, we want to attach some files, which we can do it here. And this one is H5P. H5P, we all know, it is all about interactive videos. And this way we can align using all these things, all this stuff. So with this, I'm just creating this category. So just want to create another new category. Here I just want to get into top. Second be English. I'm just pasting the welcome note only here because we all know how to text here. I'm just pasting it again. So we can see the image here. I'm just clicking save image. Then create category. And this way I'm going to create another new category. Again, I'm just making it top because I don't want to get into any other topics, any other categories. So I'm naming it as third BE English. Here also I'm just giving the welcome picture. It's not saved properly. I'm just going to redo it. So I got it. Save image and just a center alignment. Create category. So we are now thorough how to create categories. We can see 3 categories here. If I want to make this top, make this up, I can do these things also. And I want to keep second B English in the second position, I can do it. This way, we can align it here. Then, so now let's see how to create new course under each new category. I just want to create a new course for this first BA English. So I have selected this one. Click create new course and get into this page, which will ask you to give details regarding your course. Just giving the full name of the paper. And here we have to give short name for the same. And we can check the category. Either it is in first BA or second BA or third BA, we can check it here. Otherwise, we can select it also here. If you want to make any changes in the category, we can do it here. The course start date and end date, it is by default selected for 1 year, 2020-2021, as the date which we are creating now. If you want to make it for 6 months, we can edit it now. Then this is course summary. Just giving the title name. I'm just giving you course summary here. If I want to add an image here, just by clicking it, I can copy the URL and paste it here. Fine. So then here it is asked to create a course image. If you want to add it here, we can do. As I have added it here itself, I'm just leaving this. Then in the course format, we can see we can make our course format like single activity format. So For this course, we are going to have only one activity. And another thing is social format. It will be like a discussion forum. And the third one is topics format. And the fourth thing is weekly format. That means we are going to provide, every week we are going to add some resources and activities to this course. But it is better to have it in topics format. And a number of sections also we can select from this. From 0 to 52, we can select it. And the third option is whether we want to hide the sections in the page, in the course page. Otherwise, we want to make it in a collapsed way. That means it is not, if you are touching the link, it will be expanded. Otherwise, it will be in the brief way, collapsed way. And course layout, show all sections on one page or show one section per page. It is better to have this option. And appearance. Course language, it is not mandatory. A number of announcements, show gradebooks to students, show activity to reports. We can enable this. And the third, files and uploads. Here we are having site upload limit. If you want to reduce it somewhere, we can do it. And the completion tracking, we can enable this also. So if one student has completed one topic, then only he or she can move to the next one. And groups, we are not going to create any groups for this course now. And the role renaming, if you want to give a name instead of this manager as principal, we can do it here. And for the course creator, we can make it as course coordinator. This way we can rename the roles here. And the tags, we are not going to explore it now. I'm just clicking save and return to the course category page. So we can see it now. We have added a course in this in this category, first BA English. We have created a course. If I want to another course here, I can do it this way. Everything will be in the same way. If I want to give a course summary here, I can give it here. So for everything else, it will be the same. I'm not going to make any other changes. Just in this show activity reports, I'm just enabling this yes. And completion tracking, I'm giving yes. Other than that, I'm not changing anything here. And save and return. So we can see two courses in the category of BA English. This way, we can add any number of courses. Now I'm going to add a course in second BA English category. I'm checking whether it is in the same category. It is fine. So everything else will be okay. Course summary, I will give it later. And appearance, I think it is in the course format, no appearance. Just making this S. And I thought of telling you, it is not mandatory to edit all these settings now itself. If you want to change it later, we can do it. So I'm just giving save under written. So we can see this way we can create any number of courses for every category. Now let's see how to add activity and resources to the courses which we have created. So we have added certain courses in every category. Now let's see how to add activities and resources in our course. For that, I'll just get into this main option and go to home. In this home page, we can see the courses added by us. I just want to add some activities and resources in the course literary forms and terms. I'm just selecting it. Shall we? It will be in this way. So to add an activity and do some editing in this course, we have to click this settings gear and click turn editing on. We have to enable our editing. So we will get these options. The first thing is we can add an activity or resource. Here we can give any forum or feedback or assignment. I'm just going to add a forum. The forum name is Lefty Introduction. Here what I'm going to give is I just want to display the syllabus for this paper, literary forms and terms. Syllabus as well as reference books. I'm just pasting it here. As well as we can edit it using the options available here. I just want to display this forum, this syllabus in the front page. So I'm just check this box. Standard forum for general use. Yes, simple discussion. We can make it as a discussion. And we can enable each person to post on discussion. Otherwise, we can make it as a question and answer forum and standard forum displayed in a blog-like format. I'm just going to use this blog-like format. And we can check this availability. If you want to make a due date or cutoff date, we can give, but it is not applicable for this forum because I just want to make it as an announcement. I don't want to do anything here. And for activity completion, the student can mark the activity as completed. Manually, they can do it. So I'm just save and return to course. So the syllabus will be displayed here. The next thing is I'm going to edit topic 1. In this topic 1, I'm giving the title Unit 1 Prose. So first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to add some resources here. Just click this add an activity or resource. The first options will give us to will enable us to give some activities to our students. So before giving any activities, we have to give some resources and materials to our student. What is the first thing we can do is, I'm just going to edit a book. Just check this one, book, select this and click add. So the name of the book, I'm going to give a book to my students with the topic prose. So this book will have the material regarding prose. And I have selected, I have already saved it in my Word document. I'm just going to save all such things. Just going to give a definition of prose. I'm copying and pasting it here. If I want to add any image, videos or anything, I can do it here. For example, just go to Google. If anything related to otherwise we can give it this way, prose mind map. So this way we can select something if anything is applicable to our content. So I think this one will be fine. Just for your namesake, I'm just going to do this. Copy image address, click copy, enter URL. So we can see it here. So I added image. If I want to display it in the display this description on course page, I can give it this way. I have to select this one. And appearance, chapter formatting, numbers, bullets are intended. I'm just going to give it as numbering. Style of navigation, images, text on TOC, we can do it here with the custom titles. And activity completion, as usual, it can be marked by a student. Common module setting, show on course page, hide from students. Restrict address, if you want to give any restriction, I'm just adding a restriction like activity completion, which activity, elective introduction. So they have to read the materials, otherwise read the instructions given in the LFT introduction, literary forms and terms introduction, and they can do this. So I'm just saving this under return to course. So we can see this way, but I have to edit some more pages. So I have added one page. If I want to add more pages, if it is a book means we have to add more number of pages. So what I can do, just click here. So we can get chapter title, so for the second chapter, I'm giving the name prose form. I'm just clicking Save Changes. Then I want to add some more chapters. Just click this plus icon, so we can add some more chapter title, which I want to give is Common Types of Prose. If I want to make it as a subchapter, I can do. Again, we can add any video or images here just by using these functions. Click Save Changes. And if I want to move this up, I can do this way. Oh, sorry. If I want to make it as the previous one, I can move this way. I'll show you in the later part. I'm going to add some more chapters. Functions of prose. If I want to move these types of prose to the first subchapter, I can do it this way. You just click here. So if I want to make these types of prose in the first place, just by clicking this up arrow, we can make it as in the first place. The same way we can move any chapters to, we can sequence this in the order as we wish. And if I do not want to keep this here, I can delete it. And if I want to edit this chapter, I can edit it again. Fine, we are done with this. Just turn this editing off. So we can see the book here. Clicking this arrow, the students can go to the pages. They can navigate between the pages using these arrows. Fine. So I'm just going to edit the other options, enabling the editing on. So this way I have added a resources in the form of book. The second resource will be file. Just click add. First I need a book for that. I'm just going to upload this entire book as a resource here. Glossary of Introductory Forms and Terms by M.H. Abrams. Just want to check the name. ABRAMS. Dear students, you can use this as a reference guide for this paper. I'm just going to drag and keep this file here. So it is uploaded. The same way we can give the appearance, show type, show uploader, modify date, display resource description, anything we can do it here. Module settings, show on course page, that will be fine. Restrict access, I can do activity completion. So what will be the activity? They will have to read the material which I have given in the book format prose. So I'm just, if I want to add another restriction for the same activity, I can do it just by clicking here, and they have to read this LFT also. And activity completion, the students can manually mark it completed. I'm just saving and return to the course. So another activity will be, another resource will be folder. If I want to give a complete folder to this course, I can give it the same way. Just click this and you can know what is that folder and what can I do for this folder. We can read it from here. The same way, IMS content page, collection of files, and label, split up long list of activities with a subheading or an image, embedded sound file to add a short description of a course section. Just to show you one thing, label, general label text. I just want to add a video here. If I find anything related to my topic, I can copy that one. It's better to go with some relevant material like this. Just fine. These natural videos will be a good thing for giving us a reference to our course. Just giving that link here. Course introduction, insert media. Yeah, so that is created, added here. If I want to add some text here, I can do prose introduction. Restrict access, everything we can do as we have added to the previous resources. I'm just going to save and return to the course. The other things will be a page. We can copy a page and save it here and share it here. The same way we can add some other website resources here. This we can explore by ourselves. So we have added some resources to unit 1. Let's see how to add some activity. The first activity will be assignment. Assignment name. I'm just giving assignment 1 prose. Dear students, submit an assignment in the title and overview of prose. Display description on course page. If I want to adding any files as reference here, I can do, but I'm not doing that now because we have given everything in our resources itself. Then allow submissions from, we can enable it here. Due date and cutoff date. If you want to give any cutoff date, I can do. Even we can enable this reminder to grade the assignments. Submission type, whether we want to make it online text or file submission. So that means so the students can upload their file here. That will be better. Maximum number of uploaded files per person, it will be 1 because they are going to give only 1 assignment. So I'm just restricting here. Maximum submission size also we can give. The maximum size will be 1 MB per student. Accepted file types also we can choose. If I want to give it in some archive files, audio files, documents, image files, presentation files, spreadsheet, these things we can select. But I'm just going to give it, I'm not going to restrict it anyway. And feedback types. If I want to give any feedback, I can give feedback command chain line. Feedback files. If I want to give a file to the particular student, I can give it here. Then submission settings. Require students to click the submit button. We can make it enable. Require the student accept the submission statement. Is fine. Attempts reopened, never. Manually, automatically until pass. Will be never. That will be fine for a graded assignment. Group submission settings, it is not applicable here. Notification. Yes, notify graders about submissions. Yes. Notify graders about late submission. That is disabled because we have given it yes. Default settings for notify students. Yes. Then here, grade. I'm just going to give 20 points for this one. Simple direct grading and categorized. Categorized marking guide. Rubric. Everything is uncategorized. Just a minute. Yes, fine. I just want to make it simple direct grading. And the grade to pass for this is, you can make it 10. Blind marking. Hide grader identity from students. We can enable this. Use marking overflow. Yes. If I want to know what is this marking overflow, you just go nearer to this question mark. Help with the use marking overflow. If I want to explore this, I can use it here. If enabled, marks will go through a series of workflow stages before being released to the student. This allows for multiple rounds of marking and allows marks to be released to all students at the same time. Use marking allocation. If enabled together with marking overflow, markers can be allocated to a particular students. So this way we can explore it by by clicking this question mark. So everything is fine. I'm just going to save and return to course. The next thing is big blue button. This will be like our real classroom function, like our Zoom meeting, Google Meet. This way we can use this big blue button here and directly, so we can have a live meeting with our students. The next thing is chat. This is for collaborative learning. The student can make this forum, make this platform as a collaborative learning with their teachers, tutors. The same way they can share their thoughts with their peer group students, fellow students also. Name of this chat room, discussion for the topic, pros. Dear students, you can share your thoughts as well as your queries in this discussion forum regarding your topic. Pros. I just want to display this on the course page. Then chat sessions, we can enable it as well as we can give you timing also. The same way we can give activity completion, restrict others, and the module settings we can do here. So after this, I'm just to save and return to the course page. And I'm going to add another resource, choice. The choice will be a kind of poll. Choice name, understanding level, pros. Have you understood the topic? Pros. Just making a display on course page. Allow choice to be updated. Yes. Allow more than one choice to be selected. No. Limit the number of responses allowed. Yes. So option 1. Yes, they can give it for one time. And no, again one time. Somewhat. This way we can give some options. Availability, we all know this, from when to when. We are giving some time, starting time as well as due time. And result, do not publish result to students. Show results to students after they answer. Show result to students only after the choice is closed. Always show results to students. So obviously, show column for unanswered. Include responses from inactive or suspended users. Yes. As well as we can publish the names of the students, as well as we can make it anonymous. Save and return to course. So I have added a poll here. And the next thing is database. So here we are just going to share web links, books, book reviews, journal references, etc. So if you want to give some extra resources here, that will be collected here as a whole. And the next one is external tool. External tool is differ from URL resources in a few ways. So if we are sharing the external tool, for example, we can say if we are using some blogs, so it will give information about the user who launched the tool, such as institution, course, and name. So if I'm using some reference material like someone's blog, the student can realize who is giving that, and about the person also, the author of the blogger also. He can know the blogger also, details of the blogger also. The next thing is feedback. Feedback is moreover like our polling. Okay, just giving add name feedback rows. Dear students, share your feedback for the topic rows. The same way we can check the availability. Question and submission settings. Record usernames anonymous, or user's name will be logged and shown with answers. Allow multiple submissions. Enable notification of submission. Auto number questions. After submission, show analysis page. And here we can give you completion message. Thank you for your valuable feedback. Link to next activity. If I want to give something like that, I can give it here. The other things we know: common module settings, restrict access, activity completion, and these two are not applicable here. So I'm just a save and return to course. And we can add another activity. Forum. Forum, it is moreover like the discussion forum, which we have already given in the chat option. So I'm just leaving it. And if I want to give any list of glossary, I can give it here. For example, we used to see it in our books. After every chapter, there will be a glossary which will give the synonyms for the particular words which we have given, particular set of words which we have given for our references as well as materials. And a lesson is like book we have edited. Here we can add some lesson topic. I will show you. Name, rows. The description is optional. Progress bar, yes. And display menu, yes. Show more. So I have given rows, and I'm giving a little description. This lesson will give you an outline for the topic. Rows. I just want to display this description on the course page. Appearance, if I want to give some files here, I can add it here just by clicking and dragging. Progress bar, I just make it yes. Displaying ongoing score, we can make it yes. Display menu. Minimum grade to display menu, we can enable it here, but we don't want to give any grading there. Slideshow, we can make it yes. Maximum number of answers 4. Use default feedback yes. Link to next activity, that I will show you for the next lesson plan. Availability, that we know. If I want to enable this for just 1 hour for a student, I can do it here. Flow control, allow student review, yes. Provide option to try a question again, no. Maximum number of attempts 1. Then grade, we can make it point. For here there is no point because there is nothing displayed in here, and the things we know. I'm just a save and return to course. Something went wrong. So now it is working. I'm just going to add the lesson flow. Just click this browse. Then edit settings. Sorry. Add a content page. Page title, browse, introduction. As of now, I'm just going to give the same material which I have given for the book. Description, introduction, this page. I'm just saving the page. Then again, I am adding a new content page. Here, types of prose, save page. Next again, I'm adding a content page. Functions of prose. Description, functions of prose. So now I will show you the lesson flow. Just go to this edit button again. So after this introduction page, it has to get into next page. Save page. The same way, I have to enable all these things. We can do in the previous page on the end of lesson. Otherwise, we can go with all these things. But I'm just enabling next page. This function, this is the end of the lesson. So I'm making it end of lesson. Save page. So after this, we can preview it. This way we can preview it. This way, we can add a question page also here. If I want to conduct any quiz here, I can do it for this lesson. But I'm just getting back into So this will be the quiz. The other things are survey. This is like a poll, and we can share our wiki resources, Wikipedia resources, and workshop. So this workshop will be like the students can check and grade the assignments submitted by their fellow students. I will show you how to create quiz. This one for the topic prose. I can give a description here. And I can set the timing. I can give due time. Just giving it for a week. I can even set the time also. And I can give time limit like 15 minutes. Open attempts are submitted automatically. There is a grace period when open attempts can be submitted, but no more questions answered. Attempts must be submitted before time expires or they are not counted. Grade to pass, I can give 5. Attempts allowed, unlimited, I'm just making it 1. Then question layout, every question, new page, every question, otherwise for 5 questions there will be in a single page. Question behavior, shuffle within questions, yes. Review options, this is default one. You can give extra restrictions on attempts. We can give a password to attempt this, like that we can do. Under restrict access, we can add restriction like they have to complete the activity of this proofs, and they should go through this book also, and they have to watch this video, and they should have submitted their assignment to take up this quiz. The other restrictions will be like date, grade, or anything we can do. Activity completion, they can mark it manually. Just to save and return to course. So I'm just going to add this here. Sorry, it is already added. I'm just going to edit the quiz. Just get into this. We can see the restrictions which we have given, like attempts allowed 1 under starting time, end time, and what are the time limit given. I'm just going to edit this quiz. There are 2 ways to edit the quiz. Maximum grade, I can make it 5. And I just want to shuffle the questions. The first way is adding a new question manually. The second thing, question bank. The third way is random question. For this random question, there should be a set of questions in our question bank. I will show you how to add a new question. I'm showing a multiple choice question. This one will be for default LFT. I'm just making it default for quiz 1 pros. Question name. Question number 1, quiz 1. Then question text. If I want to give any feedback, I can give it here. One answer only. Shuffle the choices. It is enabled. Choice 1 is no metrical structure. The grade is 100%. Here I'm not going to give any marks because this is not the right answer. This is also not a part of the answer, so there will be none. If we think this is somewhat related to the question, we can give some percentage of marks to this particular answer. So I have added 3 choices. Then multiple choice, let's see. So for penalty for each incorrect try, we can give this way. We can give some hint for our students. So we can see our question here. This way, we can add any form of questions here. We can use all these forms. But for this multiple choice question, I will show you how to add it from the question bank. It has been saved. Just click save. Go to this home setting and click the settings here. Go more here. At the end of the page, we can see question bank. I'm just getting into these questions. So if I want to import some questions, I need a format. This one is Aiken format. So we have to add import questions from the Word document. Here, I have edited some questions. See the way we have to give our question and options like A, and for right answer we have to make it like answer all in capital letters, a colon and A. There should not be any other formats. We have to use it for all the multiple choice questions. Then save it as plain text. Give a name. Then click this other encodings. Then we can find Unicode UTF-8. We have to select this. Click OK. And close this one. Then we have to select a file. Upload your file. Choose file. See, quiz 1 pros. Open. Upload this file. It is uploaded. Then click import. I will show you that file. See, it has been saved in Notepad. So these are the questions imported. I'm just clicking yes, continue. So it is saved here. If I want to edit these questions later, I can do it by clicking this edit button. Let's see how to import these questions in our quiz. Just go to this LFT, literary forms and terms course. Go to the quiz. So we have to turn this and edit settings. No, sorry. Satisfying. Edit quiz. Click add here and select this from question bank. See here, for this LFG category, we have stored some questions. This will be in the name of default for LFG. We can see the number of questions here. I'm selecting all these questions. Add selected questions to the quiz. If I want to make any corrections or editing here, I can do it here. So maximum grade I'm just giving 5. Click save for everything. So it is saved now. So this is the way to add quizzes. And for multiple choice questions, we can use this ACAN format. We can import the questions to our question bank, and we can use those questions to our quizzes. So we have gone through how to add a book and how to add resources in the form of PDF files, PPT, or anything. We can share it here, and a video. And we have given some assignments and quizzes. Then we enabled some discussion forum as well as survey, and we enabled even a feedback, and we have given a lesson structure to our students. So this way we can add some activities to our course. So after adding activities and resources to our course, I will show you how to add users to our course. Just to go to this home page. We can see the site administration here. And in this users, first I will show you how to add a user manually. Username. New password, I'm just giving LFT. First name. Surname. And I have to give an email address. then these are all actually not a mandatory one. If we want, these are all optional actually. If we want to give, we can give the details, information here. Otherwise, we can skip it and go. So I'm just creating a user. So this user has been added to the course. If I want to delete it, I can do it here. If I want to give some editing, I can do it here. And I will show you how to add bulk user. Just go to this users tab and click upload users here. We can find a file, Excel file. This is actually in a CSV format. So we have to give a given username, first name and last name of the user, email address, and we can add another tab in the name password. So student 1, I'm just giving Arana. So username like Arna Devi, first name Arana, last name Devi, and for email ID I'm giving the password LFT. This way I can add any number of students here. I'm giving the same password for all the students. Okay, I'm just added 3 students only, 3 users only here. Just go to this save as, and make sure that your file should be saved in CSV, comma delimited form. Just click save, close this one, and we have to import our file here. I'm just giving it a save name. Upload this file. Upload users. So we can see the other users for this course. These are some other settings which we can give. If we want to make them change their password, we can give this force password change. And I'm just clicking upload users. So the users have been uploaded. We can browse the list of users here just to check whether all have been added. So all our students have been added here. We can delete them, otherwise we can hide them also, suspend. That means we can suspend them for certain while or anything we can do, and we can edit their settings. And Here in this users tab, bulk user action, this is another facility. If I want to send a mail to all the users, contains, okay, I'm simply selecting the users here, just selecting all and clicking enter. So all have been selected. So with the selected users, I can ask them to change their password, I can add them to a cohort, or I can download their details. Otherwise, I can delete them, or I can send a message and I'm just confirming their participation in the course. This way I can do for the bulk user action, I can use this way. And in the courses, I'm just getting into this enrolled users. There are no users for this course here. I'm just clicking enroll users. So in this search icon, we can see the number of students. Just by clicking, I'm selecting everyone. And everyone has been selected in the name of student. I'm just enrolling them now. We can see the enrolled users here. If I want to make Aruna as the teacher, I can make it here. And I'm just deleting her role as a student. This way, we can edit the roles of the participants. Sorry. So I just want to save this one. So Aruna will be in the name of your, it will be in the role of your teacher to this course. Fine. So we can enroll users manually by ourselves, or we can give them permission to enroll into our course by giving them their username, by sharing with them their username as well as the password which we have created. You can see it in this Excel file. Just to show you. So we have to share them this username as well as this password, and we have to give this address ajantasrnm.moodlecloud.com. So they have to enter this URL ajantasrnm.moodlecloud.com in their web address, in their address bar, and they have to log in using the credentials which we have created for them, their username and password. Hope you have got some idea about how to create courses, adding activities and resources in courses, as well as enrolling students in a single user, as a single user, as well as bulk user. Thank you.